Hey guys. So I'm I'm in a space, okay, where I am who I am. And truth be told, I do love who I am. I love who I am now more than I ever have before. I love all of me. And I don't care if that sounds fucking cocky to anybody or whatever. I really don't give a shit. But it gets me thinking about how long I've gone through my life just thinking that I was only meant to give and give and give love and not able to be open to getting it back in the ways that my soul craved, okay? And for me, a lot of that is a big step in how I'm healing myself and just living my life, just knowing that my best is always coming at me, I guess. So today, I'm recording this right around Valentine's Day, you know? So I guess that's why love's on my fucking brain, because you know that big old commercialized version, Valentines, of what love, quote unquote, is or supposed to be, fucked, isn't it? I don't know. Never really related to it that much. But I just got to thinking around it, and it's like, I don't know, aren't we, as a society, okay, aren't we just like all over the fucking place when it comes to understanding what love really is? I mean, something that's so ingrained in us as a feeling from birth, but as we like progress in our lives, we struggle to comprehend it. And I don't know, I just find it weird. I think we are. I think we're all over the fucking place. Like flowers, chocolate, jewelry. Not one of those things feels like love to me. Not one. But fuck, I'm single, so most would just tell my ass to sit down and shut the fuck up. But I'm not gonna. Because I'm learning how to live in love again. And it's fucking all over the place. Just like I said before. But I think when you observe yourself in it, that's when it starts to make sense. And however you make sense of it. And I don't know, I guess that was an important fucking aha moment for me to learn about me. And so, as I go deeper into this episode, I don't know if it will also be all over the place. I mean, I hope not. I hope it makes sense and it's cohesive, but it's the energy that's around me right now. So fair warning, I guess. And, we'll be diving into the water today. Remember, water represents emotion in humans. I don't know how the tides will turn, even as I channel this message to you. So, I guess just flow with me, yeah? And the water is actually where I'm sitting as I write this. I'm sitting here on a lookout point viewing the ocean. And I will tell you that's one big part I miss a lot about living here in New England. The fucking ocean. Oh my God. Not the beach, okay? Not the beach so much. I mean, no, the beach is okay. Like, I don't hate it. It's okay. But I don't know. I always feel a pull to the sea itself. I don't know. I guess I just feel calmed by it or connected to it. And I've been drawn to it more too lately. Maybe because I know this part of my journey is coming to an end this week. Like I fly back to Atlanta on the 15th. So I don't know. Maybe I just want to hold on to that feeling. I don't know. I guess. Or it could be, honestly, sometimes I wonder about past lives. I do. I'm open to all sorts of theories, all sorts of ideas, and I don't know. I just think past lives are interesting. It's an interesting concept. But sometimes I do. I wonder, is there past lives in places that have to do heavily with water? I don't know. Maybe. Maybe in time something will come to me on all that shit. Who knows? Like I said, I'm open to all sorts of things because, as I like to say, we don't know what we don't fucking know. Okay? And I honestly, I don't think anybody can truly pretend to know what's what. But I do know what's now. That I do know. Because I'm in it, right? And I'm good with that. I'm good with that. It's enough for me, I guess. To just be with what is and feel okay with that. Yeah? So this is the second time I felt a pull in my soul to come to this scenic overlook. It's in a town called Westerly, which frankly, if you can fucking live here, kudos, my friend, because damn, it is pricey. But for me, look, I think there's a reason that these scenic spots are often called bluffs. It's fitting for them. Like in how they look, like it looks like the end until you get close to it and you can see beyond what you thought was here. Like you step to the edge of the cliff, the bluff, if you will, and you see the ocean for as far as you can. So a bluff, right? A trick or a lie. Yeah? And we also seem to think that these beautiful spots are reserved for those with big bank accounts. Like only they can afford to enjoy them. That's another bluff. If you look at it like I do anyway, it is. And not as someone else having more than you. You know? It's not about that. Like, look, I can drive here for free. Well, minus the cost of gas. And I can sit in these so-called richy rich people's backyards. And for free, I still get to enjoy the sea with all my senses. I think that's the best thing about nature. While we tend to view the rich as being able to have those beautiful coastal homes, right? Isn't it the simple fact that nature on its own is all around us all the time? And it don't care how much we do or do not have in our life? I think nature itself just wants to remind us all to remember that we all have the ability and right to enjoy it if we choose to. I mean, we may not live here, but maybe that actually makes it more special in a way. Sometimes when you have something at your disposal, you more easily start to take it for granted. So I don't know. I guess I've learned over the course of my process so far, especially with my little journey back here to my original home state, that what matters more to me is the experience of what I can do, rather than the monetary constraints around what I can't. To me, I've embraced that in order for me to feel happy in life, I just feel happy. And then the life around me, well, it just makes me feel happy too. And I don't know, isn't that what's most important in every given moment? I don't know. I think so. And it's funny, I look out and I remember the first time I came here to these bluffs too, right? Oh, it was so windy. So the water was like super active, right? The waves were like crashing one after another, like determination to make themselves known to the shore, right? Like, bitch, you gonna fail me today. But that's the thing about nature, right? It's essentially the life that Earth itself is living. Hints that the planet is showing us similarities in her as we go through our own human life existence on her. Yeah? Does that make sense? It's like ever fluctuating. Like, we are very much joined with nature, whether we want to admit it or not. We are. And I think ancient peoples knew this better. And that's why the practices were so heavy around nature. I mean, technology is great, but we just cannot do what nature can. And I think as we've moved on in our years on this planet, that we have really forgotten that because we have been sucked into the ease of all that is digital. And so often with ease, we lose part or all of the sense that matters most in our lives. And more times than not, if we don't regain ourselves, we can lose them for too long. Sometimes forever. So today, when I'm here viewing the edge of the world as it collides with the sea, today, it's different. More calmer. A more serene vibe to the place, yeah? Little to no wind to speak of, so it's just the natural lull of the waves spread apart in that perfect rhythm, like gently kissing the shore, almost like they're offering a small apology to the sand itself for the other time when they were so rough with it. Again, a mimic to how we humans interact with one another, isn't it? And it's funny, I was guided here to New England, right? I was. And I imagine this big revelation falling on me, right? As I made my way through this point of my journey in my life and the next chapter in my life, you know? But I've come to realize and truly accept, you know, and not without some back and forth on my part, like, you know, I tell you, I talk to Source and my guides just like I talk to you people, just like I talk to my friend. I got a mouth and I use it. I don't care. They already know who I am, so why pretend that I'm not who I am? But yeah, a lot of back and forth, like, oh, I get it now. And then, like, what the fuck, you know? I don't know. It's just a lot of process. It takes a lot of process, you guys. It does. But I've come to realize and truly accept, okay, that that's not how the universe teaches us. Okay? Sometimes, yes, it does. You know, you get that big revelation and you just know and everything's like, I already know, you know? And parts of this journey have been like that. I'm not going to lie. They have. But I think more often it's like a slow trickle of feelings, ideas, knowings. And fuck, I don't know. It's always different when it comes to me. It is. And I've had a lot of learning from myself about truly being open to them as they come in. Very much like the waves that I watch right now. Like, there's a rhythm to the tides, and there's a subtle rhythm in life. And I've even now sometimes had to stop myself from trying to control that natural rhythm. Whether it's people I wish were here or those I wish I hadn't given so much energy to. Whether it's forcing myself to take on roles to feel good enough in the eyes of society. Whether it's a choice between quote unquote being right or just allowing. Sometimes I still have to physically unlearn again how to release control over my own life. And doesn't that sound so fucking ass backwards? Like, who wants to not control their own life? I think that's where my mind struggles sometimes with my heart. My inner voice is all like, trust me. You know the truth. Just watch. Watch it happen. Give it time. It will be as you feel it will be. Right? The heart is like, Jen, those choppy waves are temporary. But you need them to be able to navigate through. The sea isn't always calm, and neither is your life. But I promise you, if you have faith in me, the natural rhythm will return, and the gained experience will keep you going onward. My heart is a good one. It is. I've shied away from her for too long, but she's a good heart. I will never again allow her to be shut off. I won't. And the thing is, I think most people have good hearts. I do. I just think they've gotten used to the choppy waters and to the brain telling them that's how life is. Like mine. Oh, my fucking brain. My brain would see that water and be like, fuck, nah, we need to take over now. It's taking too long. That fucking calm wave should have been here by now. Like, what the fuck? And brain's like, let's do XYZ. And I've come to realize it's okay for me to be like, tell my brain to fucking stop. It's okay for me to do that. And I don't know. I guess I used to feel like I was, I don't know, dumb for not listening to my mind. Right? We spend so many years going to school and doing all these things to train our mind to be this tool, but why don't we spend any time training our heart to do the same thing? Because I feel like they really should work together. And that's when they work their best, actually. But, yeah, I don't know. Once I started accepting that my heart is the true me, and that when I listen with it, that I have felt the most connected with myself, with other people, when I have just felt with my heart, when I've trusted it, even when it didn't work, right? Even if the situation didn't work, I felt it. I felt it, and it always felt it was the right way for me at whatever time it was, because it wasn't me trying to reason it and control it. It just flowed like the sea. Makes sense? I don't know. Maybe. Or maybe it's all over the fucking place. Who knows? You want some chocolate? No. I don't know. Maybe.
Sorry, I'm not sure about that.
I don't know why she's talking. She's listening. They're listening, you guys. Yeah. Yeah, so I wrote this episode near the beach. I'm not at it now. I got other things to do in life, you know. But, I don't know. Maybe it's making sense. Maybe it is. Maybe someone is hearing this and getting at whatever level they need to right now. And so I share my personal healing with you. All of you. It's, I don't know. It's my little way of giving what I can, because I learned by myself. I figured things out, you know? And it's hard to look at ourselves like that sometimes. But if I can be a voice for one person and help them make their own learnings a little easier, or just giving somebody a different way to think about something, you know? Or feel something, then I feel like that's the best way for me to honor my own heart. So that's what I do. And yeah, I'm not too worried if some don't get it. Those who are meant to will. We just have to keep moving forward, yeah? Anyway, I guess I view it like this. I love the sea. And it's not to say that I won't enjoy the sea in other locations, because I know it's beautiful, you know, where it's tropical, or it's, you know, blah, blah, blah. it's just, there's something about being in this place. Something here calls me, and maybe it's because I spent most of my life here. I don't know. Maybe the atmosphere affects me in some way. I don't fucking know. Because I don't know what I don't know. Just like you. It's different here. And I look at my own sense of self in the same way, okay? Like, now that I'm true to who I am fully, without any doubt of who I am, or where I want to be, or who I want to be, I should say, I know I can go anywhere from the thinking part of me. I always have. But if I allow my emotional self to flow a little more, embrace that atmosphere, so to speak, then the feeling of home flows out from inside of me. And no matter what the waves look like in my life, with that sense of just feeling at home with myself, then I just know I will always be good. And so, as I sit here, right, honestly, I got a little emotional after some deep thinking about where I feel I am at in life. Which I am good with, by the way. I am. I'm honestly really content as I just travel along now. Just being me, heart-centered living, and I don't know, just sometimes I feel like we will always need to stop and acknowledge feelings of our old self. Like, where we try to push so hard in our lives instead of allowing. Kind of beating ourselves up for that in a way. I guess it's part of being fucking human, you guys. After all, it's definitely a part of the learning and the getting ourselves to higher consciousness. I do know that. You have to embrace both sides of yourself if you're going to heal and learn where you want to go. For me, I'm getting so much better at feeling the shit out of that and letting it go because I trust. I started realizing that it was always easier for me to put my trust into others. It was because whenever I felt that trust was betrayed and I couldn't understand it, I had something else to blame besides myself. But now I learn that in order to put trust fully outside of myself, I have to first trust myself inside. And it's funny, I look back on, say, even just the last year, right? And feelings like I had today. Some deep emotional shit, you guys. It would have had me second guessing myself for days, right? And I know you've been there. Like, how could I have been so wrong? Why was I so blind? What made me think or do or say that? You know, like falling into old traps of negativity. Dwelling, as my last episode so kindly reminded all of us. Yeah, it used to keep me second guessing myself for days sometimes. Just, what is it? Replaying over and over and over in your mind. But now, with my heart, literally takes me minutes, you guys, to fail through these things. And it's all because I started trusting myself and my heart and feelings and started observing why I had them. Seriously. Fucking few feely feelings around things, and I acknowledge what I'm observing, and I'm proud of myself for that. And I don't care what anybody thinks about it. For me and my path, I'm proud of me. I've come to a place where I really just want to be me and be as present as I can. That's why I don't chase those things that don't feel like they're meant for me at any given time. Even if I really want to. I understand that if anything in this life is meant for us, it will circle back around. And it may not be as we think. It may not be when we want to control it to come to us. But I believe if it is truly a matter meant to be part of who we are for our best self, it truly will come around. We have to be patient with ourselves and what we choose to allow into our lives. Stop hanging on to the should of what everyone else thinks or says and believe in our own selves and our own feelings about our own fucking life. And sometimes just flow with the universe. If something is removed, I go with the flow. Because I believe there's always a reason for that removal. And that's where the observant self is so damn important. I think as humans, and even myself, I used to get so frustrated with removals in life that were not of my choosing. I didn't understand that sometimes rejection is our protection. Of course, I've heard that before, right? But never did I truly understand what it meant to me and for me. But over this little journey of mine, I've learned that we can't dwell on those problems without staying stuck living in them. And why should we do that? What does it serve to stay feeling hurt by something or someone? I don't want to. And I didn't want to. But truth was, I was. So I started observing why. And it's always different, depending on what the situation is or whatever, because life is ever changing. But I don't know, maybe it's a situation that needed a healing for you, or me, or both of us. Maybe it's a hurt that needed to be felt to get where we're meant to be as a person, the best version of ourselves, yeah? I don't know. There's a lot of different situations for everybody out there who could be listening to this. But you'll know. That's what's important. It's not about somebody else telling you what to know. It's about you knowing what you already know. And that's why I feel the things now. I don't want to dwell in hurt. Because I understand that most people don't come into our lives to hurt us. That sometimes the hurt comes as a means for us to heal what we wouldn't have on our own without some outside shakeup happening. I believe that we should be grateful for these experiences. People in our lives, because, what am I trying to say? We should be grateful for these experiences or people that come into our lives. There we go. Because if we're open to it, right? Don't sit and dwell in hurt. It's not what I'm saying. But if we're open to acknowledging that it did hurt, then we can understand why. Or we can start to learn to understand why. We learn so much more from these than if everything and everyone was, fucking perfect feeling all the fucking time. Perfection is a lie. There is no such thing as another bluff. Once we understand that, we can understand imperfection in a much more beautiful way. So yeah, I did. I got a intuitive nudge, as I like to call it, to come and sit and watch the waves again. Out of the blue, And so I did. I warmed up my little rental Jeep and off I went. And when I get here, always, you pull up along the edge so that the passenger side of the vehicle is facing the ocean. It's just the way the road goes. So when I get here, I roll down the windows and I turn the radio off and I hear you know, the crashing of the waves and the occasional seagull, and I smell the air. Like, there's just something about the smell of the ocean. I don't know. It's just soothing, you guys. The sound of nature mutes everything else here. And it's humbling as fuck to this tiny human. And I don't know fucking why. I don't. But it just is. But I watch it, yeah? And I think, damn, this ocean, it reminds me of how to look at life itself. And I get a message from my spirit guides about that, about my life, okay, in that moment. Just by sitting still and being open to hearing, you know, listening to nature do its thing, yeah? And messages come to me in different ways, and I'm always open to them now. So this message was about lessons I've been learning in life, right? Reflecting on them in a way. And I'll share it with you. I don't give a shit. Okay, so see, last time I was here, it was choppy, right? Waves like crazy, as I said. And I realized that part of it was for me to understand, you know. Remember I told you I thought I'd have this great revelation when I came here, that everything would just be poof and I would know, remember? Now, what I realized the message that they were trying to tell me was, part of it was that I did need to understand that there were still some things that I needed to work through. And that's part of why I was guided here. And as I've been working through them over the past month, I've learned a lot more about where I want to be. Where I want to be as a person, where I want to be in a relationship with somebody, you know, like who I am and what I bring as a person to any connections that I may find myself in, platonic, romantic, or otherwise, right? Career-wise. Knowing who I truly am and what I know I do and don't want to hold on to. So that was the choppy, right? That's what came through to me. And today, the calmness. I take it as a sign that all is going is exactly as it should. My new beginnings are coming and they are blessed. That is a knowing that I just have, and I feel good about it. And I'm allowed to feel good about it. And you are too in your own life when these things come to you. My new beginnings are trickling in. They're not coming so fast and choppy that I get scared and lost, but slowly. And I don't need to be scared to miss any of it, because life continues rolling in just like these waves. This is what comes to me when I sit here, that rhythm. As one crashes onto the shore, the ocean pulls it back to make another wave. See? And if I view the universe as my own ocean, if I should happen to miss something that is meant to be for me, the universe is willing to let another chance roll in just as easily as a wave forms on the surface of the ocean again and again. See? So it goes back to those removals, right? Having faith that the right ones are rolling in behind the ones that crashed. And if I look at my life, I see this to be true. I do. And I'm sure if you look at yours, you can too. What am I trying to say? If something in life keeps coming back, you gotta really look at it as it's probably an important part of you or why you are here. The universe has infinite possibilities to present you with options, but if one keeps coming back time and again, be it days, weeks, or fuck, even years in between, you have to look at why the universe is intent on that wave. Do you see what I'm saying? And it could be a lesson. I don't know. Everybody has to learn what they have to learn, is what I'm getting at. But if it's meant to be and it keeps coming back, you have to investigate why. You have to. Or you're gonna regret it. You're gonna regret it. It's just the way life, I've learned that's just the way life goes. Like a surfer, right? A surfer knows if they miss a good wave, another one will come. Sure, right? But imagine if a surfer saw the biggest, best wave, missed it, but then the ocean was like, nah, I got you, bro. And redelivers the same fucking wave in all its glory. And instead of missing it this time, the surfer, happy as shit, gets to ride the perfect wave he thought had passed him by. That's what I'm getting at. Sometimes the universe pulls, just like the ocean pulls the same water back to give you the same wave because you missed it for some reason. But it's the same one. Be it a job or a person or what. It could be anything. But it's all about observing everything around you and everything you feel inside you. And that's where we fuck up. That's where we miss our waves, you guys. It is. Because in our lives, you guys, the problem is we're so busy focusing on the wave that crashed already. When I said, like, the universe has already begun pulling it back to the sea and it is literally redelivering it to you right now. I guess that's why I like the ocean more than the beach. To me, the sea is full of possibilities. The shore is literally the only stopping point. It's a rest stop for the sea, if you will. And we don't stay long at rest stops. They only hinder our adventures, right? We stop and go. And maybe that's why the ocean speaks more to my soul than the beach ever will. And, you know, my time of reflection here in New England has been so different than I had imagined it would be. But I know it wasn't a mistake to come here. I know it was for the right reasons for me to be up here. And I got a lot of clarity. It did. And I may not have all my answers clearly all the time, right? I'm not saying that. But I just feel like if I can flow along and view each circumstance as it presents itself, I just know I won't miss any waves meant for me and my best life. And I'm so ready for that now. I'm ready for the next things to show themselves. If I wouldn't have come here, learned, and released as I needed to, and honestly, sometimes I didn't want to admit I had to release them, you know? But I learned that too wasn't in my control. So I let it go. I think that if we learn as we go to let go with love, then it feels so much better than the old way of dwelling in that hurt. It just does. And I'm not saying like, oh, love something that hurt you or blah, blah, blah. Love yourself to know enough that maybe the universe took it away for a reason. Maybe it wasn't ready for you yet. Maybe you weren't ready for it. I don't know. I can't pretend to know. But I can tell you that anything, whether you hold on to it in love or let go of it in love, feels better than any other emotion. It just does. And it gets easier to do the more you do it too, because you start to understand that we all want love. Not chocolate and flowers and fucking jewelry. I mean, some fucking superficial people probably do, but we're all just trying to understand how to be love and be loved in return in all aspects of our lives. That's what I think. So what we think we know, we don't sometimes. We have to let go of the attachment of what we think we know. What we think we see isn't always as clear as it seems. The best thing you can do is just be. And if something calls to you to do something, an intuition to go somewhere, like a bluff or pick up the phone and call somebody you haven't talked to or go visit with an old friend? I don't know. That's your reason. Like, you should explore it. I just feel like if we open up to ourselves, what we want deep down in our heart, in our soul, if we can allow ourselves to be in that space more and more throughout our lives, then the bigger picture becomes so clear that we just know. And we trust what we know. Because it comes from knowing in the heart, not in the brain. See? I do. I do think that's why they call them bluffs, you guys. They look like the literal end of the world, don't they? But it's actually overlooking a beautiful sea that is bringing in those new adventures we've been waiting for. We just need the courage to peer over the edge to see it. Life is about courage. And humans have always seen the sea as a call to courage. So why should I be any different? I love finding inspiration in nature. Seeing my life as the same as those waves, rhythmically rolling in, perfectly timed to reach the shore when they're meant to. I wouldn't have been able to do that before. And I know a lot of people who still struggle to. But I'm proof that it can be difficult, but still good. Life can be difficult, but still good. So yeah, that's the key thing to understand. The timing. The timing in life isn't about other people or things being right with them. No. It's about being right with you and for you. And the only way it gets right for you is if you look at why someone or something felt or went wrong in the first place. And that, my friends, is how you roll with the tides and heal yourself in so many aspects of your life. Truth is the universe, source, God, spirit will be clear with you when it's time to try again. In whatever situation it may be. The fool jumps off the bluff when it's time and not a second sooner. But the thing to learn is you have to be willing and comfortable with being your own fool. See, we learn to understand that just because things didn't go how we imagined, that there was still a huge purpose in both that result and the experience that we had around it. Huge purpose, you guys. And that's hard to learn too. It's hard to learn. We learned that it was never because we weren't good enough, but it was because whatever the thing was needed more time to develop. That's a tough pill to swallow sometimes because we want to control. But if you can do it, oh my God, it really opens up so much to you. See past the bluffs. You can become a new person with higher perspectives whenever you fucking want to. And I've learned it shifts as you go along. You expand more into what you want if you're just able to take those opportunities when they present themselves again and give it your all. But if the opportunities present again and you haven't done anything to heal yourself as to why they didn't work before, then the all that you think you're giving is still dwelling in the past. Does that make sense? You have to give it the best you can every time. I mean, what else is there to give? It's not worth it if you can't give your best. And as you expand, it becomes easier. Because you yourself have already become your all. And that's a fucking beautiful thing. And an amazing feeling. Oscar Wilde said, Don't ever love anyone who makes you feel ordinary. I say, same goes for the way you treat your own life. You and it are as ordinary as you want them to be. So, I hope when you feel that urge to quiet the mind in whatever way works for you, that you choose to listen. I use the sea to calm myself. But you can choose whatever calls to your own soul. There's no right or wrong. It's about learning for ourselves and knowing that it's okay not to have the answers. But if we can be calm and sit still long enough, the universe will give those answers to us. Being able to find that love within ourselves is how we just know that in our own timing, those answers will always come. If we can stand at the edge of those bluffs and quietly listen to the earth talking to the sea, we can find that we are not much different from those natural wonders. Because just as the earth whispers, calling the waves back to her edges again and again, so does our own soul urge us to hear the love all around us in life and call its return to us as well. No chocolates or flowers or diamond rings required. I love you all in the best way possible as a voice on a podcast. But I hope you embrace your love of self this time around. I really do. And that's all for now. I'll talk to you all later. Bye.